What is going on, everybody? I am Archangel 0407, and I am this month's featured collector. So instead of answering the questions, how I got started, I thought instead we would just dive right into my room tour. And this will be the first time that I've tried to narrate my room tour, to talk a little bit about each piece that I got in, when I got it in, what it means to me. So without further ado, let's get started.
Alright, everybody. So right out the gate, we will start off with the room divider that separates my statue room from my wife's craft room. This is my 125-gallon saltwater tank. It's fairly new. It's going to be a reef tank. It's just in that setup stage. So right now it's just pretty much just got fish in it. But here are the smaller scale statues that I started out with, that I was willing to spend money on, or that much money on. These are DC Collectibles. Love those, that whole line. Wish I would have continued it. This is Kotobukiya. And then we have the bombshell pieces. Now those I was able to continue to buy and convince my wife that they were for her, but I was going to display them in my man cave. I'm sure everybody at some point has bought a bombshell. They look really cool. I think I'll probably get more later down the road. This Hard Hero Thor, I absolutely love this piece. It's one of my favorites. It is great pose, great colors. Love that piece. Then we have the Hulkbuster vs. Hulk, Kotobukiya. I don't think that I will get the one that Sideshow is teasing, the new one. I just don't have the space for it. So this is the Iron Studios Professor X. And then this is what my first line of X-Men was. I love these pieces, love the detail, absolutely loved having the Cyclops. I want to say these are DC Collectibles. I could be wrong. I know the Rogue is a different one. And then the Sentinel is one of the toys that my wife had got me either for Christmas or for my birthday. But now to the good stuff. So I do have quite a few quarter scale or larger pieces in my collection. I started collecting in 2014 and have yet to sell a piece, which is why my collection is the size that it is. I'm not wealthy by any means or anything like that. If you may be thinking because of the size of my collection, I've just made lots of terrible decisions with a credit card to be able to get all these. I'm very impatient. When I have a hole in my collection, I want to fill it. I hate seeing that blank space. This room originally was just a rectangle room, and then as I got more and more pieces in, I had to expand. So since this room is in my basement, I was able to knock out a wall and expand it, throw up some more shelves. These are garage shelves from Home Depot and Lowe's. They are 4 feet wide by 2 feet deep by 8 feet tall. I replaced most of the wood that it comes with either stronger material or I doubled up the shelves. But we'll start off here. These are some of the bank busts that I used to collect, along with the half-scale Spider-Gwen, which she's a little bit smaller. So now we've got the Sideshow Gambit and Rogue with the legendary scale Gambit bust. That is a half-scale bust. Now we'll go into the life-size Wolverine bust with my premium format of Wolverine and X-23. I absolutely love this bust. I know it got a lot of hate because of the mouth on it, or the nose, if you will. But I actually love this now that I got it in hand. It looks so much better in hand than pictures or videos. You kind of see that berserker rage of that piece. Life-size Deadpool bust with the X-Force Deadpool premium format and cable. And my cable, I didn't display the portal in the background. Just didn't care for it. Thought it was unnecessary. Now we got Apocalypse and Psylocke. I didn't like that they changed the Psylocke head sculpt. The one that they did on the X-Force, I wish they would have just added that head sculpt to it. Loved that head sculpt on it. Now we got Colossus and Juggernaut. Now this Juggernaut is huge. I originally wasn't going to get it because I just wasn't comfortable spending that much on a piece. So I joined the waiting list once I saw it unboxed and just completely fell in love with it. It's got so much detail. It's huge. Awesome piece to have. Once my wait list converted and I paid for it, then it went up for pre-order again. So I was very happy to have spent the whole amount right away instead of being able to pre-order it. Now we have the OG Storm, and this here is a custom Beast bust. I don't think that anybody else is going to make a Beast bust. I'm still waiting for a quarter scale Beast statue. So I was very happy to get that Beast bust when I could. Then we have the Angel Comiquette. Absolutely love that piece. Now we'll move on to Sabretooth and Wolverine. Now this legendary scale bust, I think this is their best out of the whole X-Men line. I absolutely love this piece. I know a lot of people will probably disagree with me, but the way the fur looks, the colors, I do want to white out the eyes like how this premium format is. I think that is a must. I just got to take the time to do it, but absolutely love this half-scale bust out of that whole line. Eventually, I will have to get Mystique, and then I think I'll have all of them. Now onto the Sideshow Sentinel. This is my newest piece to get in. This is one of those pieces that I never thought that I would own. Absolutely love this piece. I know some people were afraid it was going to look like an action figure, but it doesn't. The head you can move, but the light up feature is awesome. I've got it paired with the OG Cyclops and Jean Grey. Really love that piece. Now we have Emma Frost and Dark Phoenix. This piece gets a lot of hate because of the cheap cape that they used. And then on top of that, a lot of people got wonky eyes. My eyes were good. I'm happy with the piece. The XM looks really incredible. Love that one as well. Dark Phoenix, I wish I had waited just a little bit longer to get the variant, the green suit. It pops so much more with the flames underneath it. Absolutely love it. XM Namor, what a huge piece. It, of course, has its own shelf. It's so big. It's awkward to move. Some of the tentacles and water, comes off of it, but still, it is such a difficult piece to move. And this is also one of those pieces where I think the base kind of steals the show. Like, the base is way more impressive than the figure itself. But I do love Namor. I'm starting to read more and more about him in the comics. Now we have Magneto and Mystique. This Mystique I originally was not going to get. I did not like the head sculpt on it, and then I saw this custom portrait, and immediately I said, that is Mystique. So I ordered the Mystique before I was even able to get a Mystique body to go with it. I just knew that I always wanted that long hair portrait. Then we have the legendary scale Magneto bust. I thought this looks really great. A lot of people repaint theirs. I don't think I'm going to have to repaint it. I think it pops enough onto the premium format. This piece has an amazing unmasked portrait. But to me, Magneto needs his helmet. So I display him with the helmet. But the unmasked is stunning. Now we've got Nightcrawler and Iceman. This is the life-size Nightcrawler bust in the comiquette. Even though this is the 1/5 scale, I think it works really well with other quarter scale pieces. Nightcrawler's supposed to be a little bit smaller, so you can fit him in and he works. This Iceman, I actually got it for free. The guy that shipped it to me just kind of threw it in a box, and when it arrived, the arm was broken, the fingers were broken. Had to file a claim and ended up getting to keep the statue and got a full refund. So it worked. I glued it back together, and I'm happy with it. Unless you're, extremely close on it, you can't even tell the damage. But this is my X-Men section. It is my favorite section. Now moving on, we've got Thanos on throne, Galactus legendary scale bust. and Captain Marvel. So this is one of those pieces, again, that I never thought I would be able to get in my collection, just because it doesn't go for sale very often. But once I got it in hand and seeing the pictures of the premium format that they did, I preferred the Legendary Scale Bust. Now, Captain Marvel, this was one that I bought that statue without really knowing a whole lot about the character. I just thought it was such a cool statue that I wanted it. But eventually I'll replace her with Silver Surfer. Thanos on Throne, I thought it was overhyped in the beginning and waited to get it until it had sold out in Sideshow. But now that I got it in hand, I understand completely the hype. Now onto my Daredevil section. Absolutely love Daredevil. The Netflix show is amazing. The movie's okay. I know a lot of people kind of argue about it. But that, the playground fight, that's where it loses me. I'm currently reading Frank Miller, Daredevil, and Uncanny X-Men is my favorite comic to read by far. But this has got to be my second favorite comic to read. It's very entertaining. I'm absolutely loving it. Now we're on to Fantastic Four section. We have got The Thing premium format, and I know there's a couple of different variants of this one. One where I think he has a switch out portrait, one of them where he's wearing pants and boots. This head sculpt is the first time I saw sculpted eyes, where the black part of the eye is actually sculpted into the head sculpt itself and then painted black. I don't know of any other pieces that they did that, but thought it looked awesome, and didn't even realize it right away until I was just studying up close. And then we've got Doctor Doom premium format, which is another piece that I love, and I don't think that I will get the new Sideshow one that's soon to come out. Now onto Superman bust with Lex Luthor and Darkseid. Now this Darkseid, I've got him holding a cape. I saw another YouTuber do it with a fabric cape. Absolutely loved it. I had a 1/6 Superman that had broke, so I threw the cape on its hand and love that it's doing that. Then we've got Green Lantern. Now we have the Prime 1 Hush Superman. I think this is the best Superman. No matter what scale you want to talk about, licensed, unlicensed, to me this is the best Superman. It's my favorite one, at least. It's got the fabric cape. Some people prefer a sculpted cape, but as big as this piece is, I think the cape needed to be fabric, just so you could display it next to other pieces. Here's my small comic collection, omnibus. Some of them are still in plastic because I haven't gotten to read them yet, or I've read them digitally and loved it so much that I wanted to have it, the hard copy. Now we get to Iron Studios Hawkman. Mine did come broken at the leg. They did not have any replacements, so it was either get $100 or so back from them or return it and get a full refund. But after seeing this piece, I knew there was no way that I could not have this piece in my collection. It's probably one of my favorite pieces, but you can see right below that strap, that is where it had broke. I used about a whole bottle of Zap-A-Gap to glue it back on, and since then I haven't had any issues. Some of my die-cast Batmobile cars. Now on to the Justice League section. So we've got Sideshow, John Stewart, Green Lantern, Cheetah, and Green Arrow. This portrait on John Stewart, I think, is probably one of Sideshow's best male portraits. I absolutely love this screaming portrait. To me, it was either get this one or not get it at all. Just because they had changed the material of the construct on his arm. I wish it was still see-through or transparent, but they had moved on from that. Green Arrow, I change his portrait out quite often. Love the water effect on this. Really stunning piece. Then on to the Trinity. I have never displayed this Superman with the sculpted cape because his suit was fabric. I loved the fabric cape just sagging down instead of, the wind blowing it to one side. This Wonder Woman, I wish that they would have done a life-size bust to go with it, like they did with Batman, Superman, and Green Lantern. This modern age Batman, this was my first premium format that I ever got. I had a bunch of points on Amazon and actually ordered it from Amazon instead of Sideshow. But once I got it, thinking that it was going to be my only piece, the sickness had taken hold of me. I was constantly looking for a companion piece and more to go with it. Now we've got the Prime 1 Cyborg and Flash. They're the new 52 line. Love this piece. It's another great head sculpt. It's got a lot of weight to it. Love the pose. Didn't care for, I believe the exclusive gun was the smaller one. Didn't care for it so much. Sideshow Aquaman. I love the long hair portrait. Didn't care so much for the switch out arm that came with it. And then again, like I said, Flash 52. I liked the new Flash that came out from Sideshow, but the height of it was so much lower that I was worried it wouldn't look right. I wanted something with a little bit more height to it, so why I went with this one. Now we've got Deathstroke. I know not a whole lot of people like this piece because of what Prime 1 did with the Arkham Deathstroke, which is an awesome piece. But as far as a quarter scale, I don't mind that version. Now we have Killer Croc. I like the exclusive head. I've seen where Chris throws a chain over its neck to help hide the scene. This base, I felt, was a little too big for it. It's a space hog. I wish he was more, or standing more straight up, just so he would be a taller piece with him all hunched over. But it's still, I love the detail on it, and it works for me. Now we have Sideshow Bane. I love this piece. It is so huge. He's destroying the bat signal. The new one, the Daniel Bale one, is a great sculpt. It reminds me of Nightfall, Batman. But I think that this one is more my style. Fits better in with my collection. Now we've got Sideshow Scarecrow. This is one of my newer pieces to come in. I had missed out on the exclusive just because I thought it'd be available longer. I don't know if I would ever display the exclusive head portrait. But this piece is, again, it's a winner. Love the stitching and everything they did to it. This was my first life-size bust that I ever got. It's the Rick Baker. It's hand sculpted. I think the only way that he agreed to do it was that they wouldn't, tell him no, or he'd let go. He got to do his own style. It scares my children. Absolutely love it. Then we have the exclusive Poison Ivy. Now we've got Batman Bust. Now this was the second premium format that I ever got, Batgirl. I got this again to go with the modern age Batman. Thought they looked great together. The colors really popped. I still prefer that one over the new one. Just because the new one, the pose didn't really make sense to me with her smiling. But this Batman bust, I originally wanted the modern age. Couldn't ever find it. This one came up for sale, so I jumped on it. But overall, I'm really happy having this one in my collection. I wouldn't display my modern age Batman with it anyways, so it's okay to have this version. Then we have Batwoman. Love the way the colors pop on this one. Love the detail in the costume. They sculpted in the folds. It's a really beautiful piece. And now we've got two of the Arkham Game pieces that I got. I love this Joker. One of my favorite quarter scale Jokers. The OG looks great, but the pose is kind of strange to me with the weird smiling face. This one is, he's going to mess someone up. But loved it. Loved the game, playing the game. Loved this Batman. The costume of it, the pose, everything. They go really well together. Then we've got Harley Quinn. Now, I did buy the life-size bust, just waiting for it to come in, where My Arkham Batman will have to be moved for Harley Quinn to go in between them. Now to Mr. Freeze. Now this piece, I got it with every intention of having to repaint all the light blues. All the pictures and videos, I couldn't stand it. But once I got it in hand, it doesn't look that bad. It looks like the tubing is supposed to be white, but it's so cold that it's putting off that color. So once I got it in hand, I was like, okay, I don't have to paint it anymore. I love it. Now to the Huntress. Another great head sculpt. Love the costume. I didn't have any issues with the paint or the cape, the dye bleeding. Mine came perfect, ready to go. And then everyone's favorite Catwoman premium format, the diaper version. I don't care so much for the all the new statues they're making where it's leaning or looking over the shoulder, which is why I'm going to stay away from most of them. You know, I've got this one, and then my Poison Ivy has got that same type look. I wish they would, even if it's just the leg up, I prefer that over, looking over the shoulder. But some more overlook of how I've got them all spaced. I'm trying to stick to just 3 per shelf, just so it's not cluttered. Now we'll go up to here, probably the greatest statue of all time, the plastic Man of Steel. Then the Prime 1, Frank Miller Batman, and Batman Who Laughs. This Batman Who Laughs is an incredible statue. From the portrait, the way the gums, the teeth look. Love this piece. Originally, I was wanting to get more of this line. I didn't care so much for the main comic. It was the spin-off that I really loved, the Batman Who Laughs. I think it's 6 or 7 issues in the run. I loved that run of Batman Who Laughs. The rest of the line kind of, gets a little boring here and there. This is my favorite Batman statue. I love the Dark Knight story. I think that is the best story. And again, this is my favorite Batman statue that I have. And then a couple of NECA figures that I'd got when I had started out. Those were my first, I think, quarter scale pieces that I had bought. Now onto my Spider-Man section. So we'll start with Sandman and Rhino. Absolutely love this legendary scale bust. It's supposed to be a half scale, but because Rhino's so big, I mean, it fits very well with the life-size bust. This XM Sandman, this was my first XM Studios piece. It had got to me so quick that I had to go pick it up at the post office. I thought there was no way it could get here. But as you can see, the hand on it is so big. And I know what you're thinking, my hands are huge. I should be a basketball player. But this piece is just enormous. Absolutely love it. Now on to Spider-Man and XM Mysterio. So this is the premium format. I love this pose. Love how he's on one hand. I know a lot of people hate the base on it, but I absolutely love it. This Mysterio, love the portrait on it. I never switch this one out. I only care for this portrait. Cape's a little thick on it, but what you gonna do? Now we're on to Green Goblin and Gwen Stacy. This bust, absolutely love. Never thought I would have it again. It's a piece that I searched for. The only time I found one, it was missing its hat. So very happy to have that piece in my collection. I love this premium format. I think XM is coming out with a version also, but I still prefer this one. And then Spider-Gwen. This one I'm constantly changing the portraits out. I love them all. She's a stunning piece. Very small footprint. so very easily to display. And then we've got Carnage. So the new movie's starting to come out or show previews. I didn't really care for the first one, the first Venom movie. It was just a little too cheesy, too much humor. So I don't think that I'm still going to watch it, but I'm not really excited for the second one. And so that's my Spider-Man side. I do want to expand it. I'm about to pre-order the Venom bust, the life-size one, and I would love to get more of the XM villains. I'm hoping Sideshow will make a Doc Ock, especially since the XM one is already sold out. But another overview of my statues. And now here's the crown jewel here, the Pickle Rick. And every collection should have a Pickle Rick. It's more weird if you don't have one. So now we've got Hulk versus Wolverine. I think everybody's got this in their collection or has had it at one time. But I love that piece. Now on to Captain America, life-size bust with the premium format of Captain America and Red Skull. This is still my favorite Captain America. The Daniel Bell one was nice, but I didn't like the pose. It was just a weird standing pose of him. So this one is still my favorite. Then Red Skull. Still love this Red Skull. My lights make the shelf look a little bit more blue than it really is. Now onto modern Thor with Loki. Some people don't like this pose on it. It didn't bother me. I saw a custom switch out for a spinning hammer, and I hate so bad that I did not jump on that. It would have made the piece look so cool. Then we got the half-scale bust. I would love to get the life-size Thor bust, but it's just difficult to find. And then the movie Loki version, which I loved him as Loki. They don't really have another quarter-scale Loki, so I got it, and I thought it looks great next to the Modern Age. Now we've got Iron Man and Ultron. Love this bust. I think this was one of the first busts that I remember ever seeing. It was at my mall, in a little comic shop. I remember seeing it and just absolutely loving it. Then Iron Man. It's a really cool pose, cool statue. Don't ever use the light ups on it. And then Ultron. Love this Ultron. The base is huge on it. I wish he was a little bit taller, or maybe I wish Iron Man was a little bit smaller. But there's a little bit of a size difference in them. Now onto Hulk, life-size bust with my two Gladiator Hulks. So this one, I still prefer this bust over the new one. I know the new one is huge, but I didn't care for his facial expressions. Then the new Gladiator Hulk, Daniel Bell. What a stunning piece. The sculpt, the detail. You know, the monster should be a little bit bigger based on the comics, but it still works. But I prefer the green on the OG. I think this skin color looks so much better. I actually prefer this piece. I mean, he's got that snarl, holding a huge shield. Absolutely love this piece. Loved the Planet Hulk story. Now on to Hawkeye, which this piece I got for a great deal because some of the arrows were missing in its backpack, which you can't even tell. Or I say backpack. Little small Ant-Man to go with it. And then another movie piece. I try to stay away from movie piece, but I loved the character, so got it. Now I think I should probably replace it with either Sideshow or XM's line. But that is my collection as of right now. Like I said, these are garage shelves. My plan is to customize these more so than I already have. I've seen a lot of great videos on YouTube of people customizing them to make them look like Moji case. I love the way that looks, and it's not the Moji case price. I'm waiting for acrylic or plexiglass sheets, the price to come down since the demand is so high right now before I tackle that project. But that'll be the next phase of my collection, is to make it have that feel. But I want to thank Chris for letting me share my collection, and he'll see you in the Batcave.
Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these 2 awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.